Good morning, Top Fan Rivalry followers. It's Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. We got our Around the Diamond, but it's going to look a little different. We had some technical issues with the presentation that Sam and I usually put up. Now, Sam's on vacation. How dare he do that during baseball season? But I understand why. I brought in one of my good friends, Thomas. Thomas, I mean, you had said offline, maybe this is an upgrade. Is that what you said to the good looking
Not
status or
necessarily
something?
an upgrade. I'm just saying, like, your co-host might have like got a little upgrade in the looks department.
Ah, okay. Sammy, you heard it right there. You and Thomas. I mean, he's a Giants fan. You're a Braves fan, so you guys can duke it out. You guys have duked it out in the playoffs before. It's nothing new
Oh yeah, no issue at all over here from the first place Braves.
from the first place Braves. There you go. Well, we're gonna dive into this, everybody, and let's see if we can't get technology to work for us today, because we have had all kinds of issues from the outset. But Thomas, let's just dive right into it because we got a ton of topics. I'm going to cover the American League this morning for you, kind of give you a little bit of recap.
Let's hit it.
Baltimore doing their thing, 91
Mhm.
and 54. Tampa Bay 90 and 57, 2 games back. Toronto 80 and 66, 11 and a half games back. New York and Boston, so sweet Caroline and New York, better luck next year in the division. Now, what's interesting about this division, everybody, is remember Tampa Bay started out 13 and 0, but Baltimore said, you know what? Hold my water here. We're going to go after it. Hold my Gatorade, right? The Central, not an exciting race. So you see Minnesota 76 and 70, Cleveland is 69 and 78, 7.5 back. Detroit 66 and 79, 9.5 back. Chicago, who I predicted would win that division, is 56 and 90. They get the big E for eliminated. Kansas City, congratulations to Kansas City. They are in the triple digits, just the wrong triple digits. Houston 63 and 64, Texas 81 and 80 or 64, a game back. Seattle 81 and 65, they are a game and a half back. Uh, Angels 15 games back at 68 and 79. And Oakland, congratulations, you're eliminated, but congratulations on getting to triple digits. That's very good of you. You and Kansas City, that's awesome. Now, Thomas, I'm going to say this right now. The East is fun to watch because you got two teams battling out. The West, you have three teams battling it out. Mind you,
Mhm.
Seattle plays Texas 7 more times and Houston 3 more times before the end of the season. But can I say who cares about the Central? It's just not exciting this year. Is that safe
Honestly,
to
you
say?
can because what the Twins with a 76 and 70 record. If they were in any other division, they're over here getting ready for their golf plans for the off season.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. Thomas, what can you tell me about the American League before we talk about the wild card there? Anything that excites you, anything that you're looking at going, okay.
I mainly the West over there. I with three teams battling it out, game and a half separating them. I'm excited to watch the rundown between all three of those teams, but have lost themselves with the injury to Max Scherzer. And you can tell me more about Max Scherzer with him being a former Dodger over there. Dodger Great should go to build him up a statue outside the stadium, but they might be out of without him.
Yeah, build him up a statue. Yeah, build him a statue like a butter that can melt or something like that. I mean, this guy's made a glass. This guy, I, it didn't surprise me that he went out. It did not surprise me that he went out, and when he did, um, he's had a great career, maybe even a Hall of Fame career. But um, as he's gotten
Yeah.
older, uh, it becomes more difficult on him towards the end of the season, and that's tough because he's making a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money. He makes can't remember 30 something million next season playing for
He
the
makes more than
Rangers.
a couple of franchise by himself.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, so let's talk about the wild card for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay is 8.5 up. Texas is a half a game. Seattle's even. Then Toronto's a game and a half back. And then technically 7.5 back is Boston and New York. They're not mathematically eliminated, although it's going to get all kinds of weird. Toronto was in that third spot, and then Texas said, "Hold my Gatorade" when they came to town, and just took 3 games from them. So, interesting things happen in the wild card. Thomas, what do you think?
Realistically, in the American wild card, there it's a 4 team race for 3 spots. So I'm just
Yeah.
not even looking at Boston and further down. So Texas, Seattle, and Tampa Bay Rays. It's going to be out of those 4 teams, and that's going to be a tough one. I don't want to play against either one of them in the ALDS. That's going to be a gridiron lockdown, and hey, more fun to it. If it's an American League, with me being a National League fan, love to watch the great teams battle it out.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. All right, my friend, take us through the National League. Lead us off here.
All right, I'm gonna hit them last. So let's go ahead and hit the West first. Your Dodgers are in first place, 88-57. Second place, Arizona Diamondbacks. They are 76 and 71, 13 games back. Don't think you have much to worry about with them trying to come back and take the division. San Francisco Giants, third place, 75 and 71, 13 and a half games back. Your Padres, your favorite team, right? They are getting close to the cellar, to the basement, 69 to 78, 20 games back. And then the Colorado Rockies have been eliminated, 50, 35 games back. Good Lord there. So I don't think you have anything to worry about in the division. So you should be sitting pretty there. But I hope you do make a push and try to get the Braves for the best record in the National League, because I don't want to see Philadelphia in the NLDS. So moving on to the Central, we got Milwaukee Brewers, first place, 81 and 64. Second place, Chicago Cubs. They are 78 and 69, 4 games back. So that's still realistic. They can make a push for Milwaukee. Cincinnati Reds, 76 and 71, 6 games back. That's still realistic as well. Then it goes down to the cellar. You got the Pittsburgh Pirates sitting at 68-78 with 13 and a half games back. And then St. Louis Cardinals, Adam Wainwright, let's just ride off into the sunset. 65 and 81, 16 and a half games back. Wainwright had a great career, but let's just hang it up from here, man. And then finally, the only team to win their division, the 14th of 2023, the division winning Atlanta Braves, 96 and 50. And I did have this printed out for those that are watching on YouTube. This is the Braves celebrating on the Philadelphia Phillies home field last night. You see the Phillies in the corner, see the nice bell in the background. Love to see it. Braves did take the division last night. You have the Phillies in second place, 79 and 67, 17 games back. Let's say that one more time, 17 games back. Miami Marlins in third place, 75 and 71, 21 games back. The lonely Mets down there, 67 and 78, 28 and a half games. Nationals, who have statistically not been eliminated yet, 65 and 81, 31 games back. So you see
So,
why I left the East at the end, right?
yeah, so disclaimer, Top Fan Rivalry followers, I will not be taking Thomas with me, nor will I be with Thomas ever in Philadelphia. I like my life too much. But if you got to do what you got to do, Philly fans, do it. It's okay. I'll turn my head, but I'll never be with him in Philadelphia. So there you go. Thomas, a couple things
Hey,
that
I,
shocked.
I am afraid to play Philly in the playoffs.
There you go. A nice recovery, sort of. Um, couple of things that shocked me in these divisional races. Obviously, I thought the Mets would be better. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people thought the Mets would be better. I thought the Padres would be better. I did not expect them in the division to be mathematically eliminated mid-September. That's for sure. I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised that the Cardinals are as bad as they are. And actually, the Braves and the Dodgers doing what the Braves and the Dodgers are doing doesn't surprise me. Although, let's be honest, in the West, probably you included, and no disrespect, because a lot of people would say this, I might even say it, wasn't this the year that the Padres were supposed to win the division?
Padres and the Mets, they were both top of the league at the beginning with how much money they were throwing at their players on paper with it. It was what the Dodgers and the Braves are doing is exactly what the Mets and the Padres were doing. They were supposed to be that much better than everyone else, and it just didn't pan out.
It just didn't pan out. Now, you ready for a hot take?
Hit me.
Cubs are going to win the Central.
I would love to see it. That would be great. And as soon as they win the Central, they're going to have to turn around and play whoever they just beat out for it.
So the Cubs' last 3 games are with Milwaukee.
So is it going to come down to the same type of race that the Braves had with the Mets last year, where it's coming down to the very last game?
Yeah, yeah. The last 3 games for Milwaukee is at home
And
against
that's who
Chicago.
is the home team for that
I think Milwaukee is.
in Chicago.
Yeah, no. I think Milwaukee's the home team in Milwaukee.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Milwaukee has that much more to fight for. You never want your division rival to win and clinch on your home field. That is just that's salt in the wound there.
yeah. Well, ask Philadelphia. Um, okay. Wild cards. What do you say?
Wild card is a much closer race than it is in American League. You got Philadelphia Phillies. They have the number one wild card spot. They're up by 3.5 games. Currently, Chicago Cubs are in the second spot. They're up 2 games. And then in the third spot, you have a tie between the Cincinnati Reds and the Arizona Diamondbacks. But you also have another 2 teams that are in contention. You have San Francisco Giants, who are a half game back, as well as the Miami Marlins, who are a half game back. So what is that? 6 teams fighting for 3 slots. That's going to be gridlock there. That is bottlenecking. That is going to be some fun last week of the season baseball there.
You want another hot take, Thomas?
Hit me.
Philly gets that number 1 wild card spot. Number 2 wild card spot goes to Arizona. Number 3 wild card spot goes to Cincinnati, and Milwaukee loses out on the playoffs.
I'm still sticking to my preseason prediction. Miami Marlins will some type of way find their way into that last spot. I called it at the preseason. Miami will get that
Yeah, yes, they
third and
will.
final spot for the wild card.
They very much could, but I'm saying right now that Milwaukee, even though they're 4 games up on the Cubs right now with like 17 left to play, I see them missing the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love hot takes. I love controversial topics. I love to hear it.
Yep. All right, here we go. So let's talk about stats for a second. Home runs, 5,309 total this season. 209 of them went out of the yard this week. The teams with the most home runs, the Braves, 282, Dodgers, 226, Angels, 210. Half of those are Shohei, I think. All joking aside. Tampa Bay, 210, Minnesota, 207. Teams at the least, as you would suspect, Kansas City Royals, 145, Colorado Rockies. How is that possible with where they play?
I have no idea with that one. Very
Yeah,
surprised to see them on
exactly.
there.
I mean, they play 81 games at a place where you hit a fly ball and it goes out of the yard. At 142, Pittsburgh 142, the Nats 135, and Cleveland 111. That one shocked me. But you've got 5 players here that have 39 or better home runs this season. Walk me through this, Thomas. Tell me, are you surprised with any of the names on this list? And are you surprised with the numbers?
I'm not surprised with anyone on this list except for Mookie Betts. Now,
Okay.
Mookie, still one of my all-time favorite players. He's an all-around player. He knows every facet of the game. He's good at every facet of the game. But 39 homers on September 14th, that's the long ball. That's great. So I've never seen him with this type of power to be a 40 home run guy. So he's the only one that's actually surprising me. But everyone else, Pete Alonso's always going to be in the top 3, top 4 in the National League when it comes to home runs. He's just made and bred to hit home runs, which you can see in the home run derby every single year. Shohei Ohtani, that's Ohtani. That's all you have to say about that one. Kyle Schwarber, same thing with Pete Alonso. They are just made to hit home runs. And then Matt Olson, I knew his numbers would go up in his second season with the Braves. He's finally gelled well. He's finally meshed well. So everyone else on this list, normal. I could have predicted that. But as far as Mookie Betts, hey, proud of you. Love to see it. Don't do it when you come to Atlanta.
Don't do it. That's good. Well, so Matt Olson, I knew Matt Olson would get his stride to hit 50 home runs, though. That one took me back just a little bit, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad to see it. I mean, it's good for baseball to see it. Pete, I can't find a jersey that fits me correctly. Alonzo, that's pretty common for what Pete does. Shohei is just having a season now. He's out
Mm-hmm.
with an oblique injury. He's going to have surgery on his arm in the offseason. Lots of things are there. Um, Kyle, uh, I think Kyle has 47 hits all season and 43 of them are home runs. I'm teasing there, but his batting average is under 200. But when he hits the ball, he hits it far. And yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
right. So, um, Sam and I always debate whether or not we're going to get to 5,500 home runs. I think the answer is
Mm-hmm.
yes. With 17 games left throughout the league,
Less
be
than 200, yeah, I can definitely see that happening.
yeah, being less than 200 away, being 191 away, yeah, absolutely. All right, now stolen bases. This is interesting because Sam and I talk about this a lot about little ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And having, playing little ball. So there's 3,135 stolen bases currently with the league. There was 159 of them last week. Now, we've been talking about, is it the pitch clock? Is it just the runners wanting to steal? Is the fact that the bases are Jose Altuve size, right? So it's really not 90 feet to each base. It's about
Mm-hmm.
76 feet to each base based on the size of the bases. Um,
Yeah.
Acuna Jr., 66, Ruiz, 58, Corbin, Carroll, 47, Witt Jr., 44, Abrams, 41. Thomas, let me ask you this question. Does it surprise you at all that there are so many stolen bases? A, and B, do any of these names on this list surprise you and or their numbers?
It does not surprise me that there's so many stolen bases. And Jackson and I had a prediction podcast earlier this year on Chop House Chatter. We knew the numbers were going to go up. We knew Acuna was going to be in the 50 range. Didn't think he'd get over here to 60 and possibly 70 like he is now. But we knew his numbers were going to be up there. But as close as Ruiz is, Acuna kind of he ran away with it for a while, for a good month and a half. There was nobody in breathing distance of Acuna with the top home. But Ruiz, he's kicked it on in the past couple of weeks, couple of months. So I'm very surprised at how much he's turned it back on. But Corbin Carroll, he was my pick for Rookie of the Year. Bobby Witt Jr., then CJ Abrams, they're all respectable numbers in the 40s. So with all of those different rule changes at the exact same time, it meant there were going to be more stolen bases. And I love to see it. I'm a speed threat myself when I was playing baseball. So I love to see stolen bases. I love to see small ball, get them on, get them over, because that's essentially a double as soon as you get Acuna on base and then finally get them in. That's probably why Matt Olson has so many RBIs. It's because Acuna is already in scoring position by the time he gets up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Matt Olson hasn't even put down his Gatorade to get on deck, and he's already got a runner in scoring position. So
Exactly.
yeah, no, I agree with you. And Thomas, you and I are going to have a show at some point in the off season where we're going to talk about small ball versus the 5-run home run,
Mm-hmm.
and show the difference in what teams have done with the small ball. Now, it's cool that Ruiz could hit 60. It's cool that Carroll could hit 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Acuna could hit 70. So Acuna could end up being the first 40-70 guy ever, which is,
Yes.
again, which is leading us right into our topic. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down, brace yourselves. We've already talked about home runs and stolen bases and wild card races and everything like that. Now it's the bulk. And I brought Thomas in because Thomas will be unbiased. Here we go. 2 Dodgers we're going to talk about, 2 Braves. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get it on. The NLNS. MVP race. Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
I did this in no specific order. I did it Braves, Dodgers, Braves, Dodgers. So don't look at this thing and say, why is Betts at the bottom? This is not the way that I think the votes are going to come in. Maybe it is. But Thomas, look at these stats. Tell me first what surprises you or what sticks out to you with these stats. And then let's kind of take it from there.
All right. So, first thing that stands out to me, you did not look at, I guarantee you didn't look at. Acuna and Matt Olson have the same number of triples.
Yeah, I
They're
saw
like
that.
night and day when it comes to speed. Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh.
I saw that. And
So,
Mookie
okay,
Betts has
okay.
one.
Moving past that, every one of these players has put together an MVP season. Where players did not perform and do what they did, it would have been a runaway for them. But you have Acuna with a 335 batting average, putting together a 40-70 season. It's so hard to not vote for that. But then you look past, you got Freddie Freeman, who's Mr. Consistent across the board with everything, with the 26 homers, with these 18 stolen bases, with the 55 doubles. Freddie Freeman's up there with those numbers where across the board, he's a unbelievable player. And I still miss him playing for the Braves, but when you look for the Braves, how do you not vote for someone that has over 50 home runs throughout the season, who's leading the league in RBIs, who's still hitting a respectable 279, and that'll be over 280 by the time the season ends. And then finally you have Mookie Betts, who's again five-tool player who can do everything. And as you know, being a Dodgers fan, he can play anywhere on the field and actually compete in any position on the field. 39 home runs, 312 batting average, all of those numbers for each and every one of those players.
Yeah, this race is interesting to me. So there's a couple of things that caught my eye. That you pointed the first one out. Matt Olson has the same amount of triples as Acuna. I, you know, unless you had a cheeseburger sitting on third base and told Matt when he was hungry, go get it, I would have never suspected that. I also wouldn't have suspected that Freddie Freeman had more triples than Mookie Betts because Freddie's not that threat. And then look at the stolen bases. Freddie's got more than Mookie. That shocks me
Yeah,
because you would think that that would
it's
be
not
the
a fair
other
fight in
direction.
so.
Exactly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
couple of things, couple of things that stand out to me also too when you're looking at Mookie versus Freddie for a second. Mookie's got 13 more home runs, but only 10 more RBIs,
Mm-hmm.
which tells you that Freddie's putting the ball in play when people are in scoring position and or are on, right? Um,
Yeah.
it, I'm glad I don't have to vote on this because here's the way I look at it. Acuna is going to have over 200 hits. He'll probably get to 40 home runs. He'll definitely get to 100 RBIs, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll hit someplace between 330 and 340. How do you not vote for that guy? Oh, well, wait a second. Wait a
Yeah.
second. Freddie Freeman's going to have over 200 hits. He's going to have between 55 and 60 doubles, maybe more. He'll end up having probably 28 home runs with over 100 RBIs. Um, and he's going to hit between 330 and 340. Um, Freddie's never had a 200 hit season. I don't know if you knew that or not, Thomas. The highest that he's ever gotten to is 199, which was
Mm-hmm.
last season. So he'll cross that threshold uh, this season. Then how do you not vote for Matt Olson? 100. Now, you said it perfectly, Thomas, perfectly, because most of these guys that are jacking the ball out of the yard, Kyle Schwarber, like we were talking about, are not hitting for average. Pete Alonso
Yeah.
not hitting for average. How do you vote against a guy that's going to have 160 plus hits, has probably close to 30 doubles or 30 doubles, may have 55 home runs, may have about 140, 150 RBIs, and is still batting 280? How do you not
Mm-hmm.
vote for that guy? Any other season, everybody would be saying, hey, this is a walk. But Acuna being at 40, potentially 40,
Yeah.
70 makes it really hard. And then you got Mookie Betts, Mr. Consistency, Mr. I can do it all, including bowl a 300 game. I mean, this guy's never hit 40 home runs, I think, in his career. He's going to hit 40 home runs this season. He's going to hit over 300. So Thomas, I don't know how to vote, but I'm going to make some hot takes after you do. So
Yep.
you are the final vote to who gets what. Okay. Your ballot is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Put these in order of 1 through 4 based on what they do on the field. Um, and tell the top fan universe where we're at. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to flip the order. I'm going to start at the bottom. Okay.
Okay.
At the bottom, I'm actually putting one of my favorite players, Mookie Betts. He's fourth in my voting.
Okay.
And that's only because of the seasons that everyone else is having. Again, all four of these players are deserving of the MVP award. Number three, I'm putting Matt Olson. And that's only because I know the Braves lineup. He has three leadoff hitters hitting right in front of him. When you have Michael Harris second hitting ninth, right in front of Acuna hitting first, right in front of Ozzy Albies hitting second, right in front of Matt Olson, he's going to get those RBIs. I say a good third of those RBIs are because of the caliber of players hitting right in front of him. They're already on second, they're already on third. The speed in front of you, it's going to score every time. Just literally put the bat on the ball. That's going to get you RBIs. So I have to eliminate the RBIs for Matt Olson. So
Okay.
when you just look at the home runs and the average, that's why I'm putting Freddie Freeman above him. Freddie Freeman, Mr. Consistent. That guy is great across everything. He's a gold glove caliber defensive player. He has all those doubles. He will have over 30 home runs. And then the average is right there with Acuna for one of the tops in the league. Maybe Luis, who's Mr. Miami over there hitting 340,
Luis
350.
Arise.
Rise. He's the only other person that's doing better than them when it comes to average. But I cannot not put Acuna as my number one vote because of the average, because of the home runs, because of the stolen bases. He is doing something that we've never seen before that I might not see again in my lifetime. So that's why I put those in order. I have Acuna one, and three, Mookie Betts four.
Okay, so you have it the way it's on the screen.
Yes.
Um, I uh, I I'm gonna tell you, I'm this is gonna be a long answer to me agreeing with you. Mookie Betts to me, in any other season, this is probably an MVP season.
Yes.
But dot dot dot, right? So Mookie Betts would be number 4. Olson would be number 3. Again, any other season hitting 50, I'm going to round up and say 55 home runs because he'll probably get there with probably another 15 or 20 RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
Any other season, that's a runaway. Freddie Freeman having over 200 hits, 60 doubles, 26 to 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs, and hitting close to 340 any other season, that's MVP. I thought he should have been the MVP last year. And all of a sudden, when you look at Nolan Arenado and you look at Paul Goldschmidt, oh, okay, sure, yeah, whatever. But the I think there's an East Coast bias, and for some reason, sports writers love the Cardinals. Notice how we're not
Mm-hmm.
hearing a lot about them right now, but they love the Cardinals. Um, Hard to say because I really think that Mookie and Freddie are deserving of it in any other season. It's really hard. Acuna is going to finish with probably 210, 215 hits. He'll probably hit 30 home or 40 home runs. He'll probably have over 100 RBIs, and he'll probably steal 70 bases. It's really hard to go against a 40-70 guy when we've never seen that happen. Um, if you took Acuna out of the mix, Freddie
Mm-hmm.
Freeman wins the MVP hands down. If you took Acuna's
Yeah.
season and Freddie's season out, then Matt Olson or Mookie Betts they're having, it's hard when you have 4 MVP caliber seasons, but the way that it's listed on the screen is the way that I would vote.
Yep.
Acuna
So
first,
we're on the same
Freeman.
page there.
Yeah, it's hard though because it's hard to leave anybody's cheese out in the wind. I mean, come on, if you're, with the exception of being teammates, if you were Matt Olson and let's say Acuna were playing for another team, if you're Matt Olson and you hit 55 home runs, you not only do you feel personally great about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you not shake your head and say, how did I not get the MVP? So, I mean, but look around you. You're in a good class of
Normally,
16.
yes, but when you see exactly what Acuna's doing,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And in the American League, I don't think there's a question. I think Shohei's going to end up with it with what he did on
Yeah.
before he got hurt. What he did on the
He's
mound
going to be
was
another unanimous MVP. There's just nobody out there that's even coming in the same book as him, let alone the same page. So, yeah, he's by himself in that race.
yeah. Let's just be glad that we don't have to vote on this ourselves.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is nuts. All right. So let me tell you what's on deck, everybody. And this has been fun. We got to get Thomas on with Sam and I. Podcast on Monday. I'm going to be talking to you. There's a couple of topics that I think are passionate that we should talk about, and I haven't done a Bills Corner in a while. Tuesday, we're going to have some Reds fans on. Wednesday, we're going to have a group of ladies on that are going to talk about the Angels and where the Angels have gone wrong this season, where they can improve, and what they're looking for 2024. Thursday, we're going to have a group of ladies on talking about the 2023 world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh, did I say that right, Thomas? Right,
No, I think
maybe
that had to be a typo. You had to read
typo.
that wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're gonna have that, and then Ryan's gonna come on and talk about the Astros on Friday. So we got a full list. In the leagues, Sam is gonna be a guest on Tuesday. Friday, Megan and Amber are gonna be hosting two other ladies, and they're gonna be talking sports lady style. I believe that's gonna be an hour-long show, so catch up with that. Articles that are in the locker room. Mets Meg has an article that drops tomorrow on Friday. Brian, B Cap, you love him. You've seen him before. He wrote an article about the Angels. Val's writing an article about the Rangers. It's exciting times right now to be in the locker room. If you haven't gotten into the locker room, you need to. There's codes all over the place. Thomas has a
Mm-hmm.
code that he's going to share with you right now, and that code is what, Thomas?
Is it 755 chop? Always, it
Chop.
always confuses me there. I think it's
Yeah.
755
It,
chop.
it's just chop. Yep.
Got it. 755 chop. That matches my username, 755 chop talk. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you follow Chop House Chatter, all of those. But you can definitely get that discount code 755 chop.
Absolutely. And that's what I was just going to say. Thomas led me into the wrap up of the show. Make sure that you're following Chop House Chatter. Make sure you're following 755 Chop. Thomas does a great show with Jackson, who goes by Top Fan Stats Guy. That drops every week. They do fantastic stuff about the Braves. If you are a baseball purist, listen to their stuff. They are a lot of fun. You can get a lot of data from them. Listen to them. Follow them on Instagram. Subscribe to them on YouTube. Check them out if they've got a Facebook page, TikTok. For Top Fan Rivalry, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Top Fan Rivalry. YouTube, subscribe to us. Facebook, we've got a great following over there. TikTok, we just started a couple weeks ago. So as a wrap up, we gave you where the standings were at, where the wild cards are at, your home run totals, your stolen base totals, and we talked about the NL MVP. And Thomas and I are both grateful that we don't have to vote on that this season because that may be a little too much. And our cardiologist would probably make some money on that vote, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we'd be stressed out about it. Thomas, thank you for being in on the show today in Around the Diamond. Do you have any final thoughts as we wrap up?
I do not. Go Braves. Congrats to Andrew Jones for getting his number retired, and look forward to seeing the Dodgers in the playoffs.
Yep. Well, not this year. You guys are going to be out in the division after losing to Philly, right?
I am not saying anything for that matchup. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
After saying what you said about celebrating on the field, that's probably safe because
Oh,
you'd never be, in Philly again.
yeah. I've already lit the match.
All right, Thomas, stick around for a second. Appreciate everybody. We'll
Yep.
see you next week.
Later.